Hello everyone. I'm going to do a reading today on the situation in Plymouth. My friend sent me a video and a message a couple of days ago about the fact that Plymouth Council, in the early hours of the morning, I think it was on Sunday, against the wishes of many people of Plymouth, and against the wishes and the consent of even some of the people within the council itself, uprooted something like 100, 150 trees. In the video, they were piled high and they'd been ripped out by the roots and cut down. These trees, Plymouth, anybody that knows Plymouth will know that Plymouth was very tree lined. One of the beautiful aspects of Plymouth city centre was the trees, the tree lined streets. And there was a particular area that people used to love to come and sit and contemplate, and it was full of trees, old trees, ancient trees, newer trees, but it was a city of trees. And then on Monday morning, people of Plymouth woke up to find that in the name of regeneration of the city centre, Plymouth Council had uprooted and removed the trees, and it was like a funeral pile. It was enormous, massive, enormous pile of uprooted trees. Got to have been hundreds of them. So many people in Plymouth are up in arms, but also many people are realising that it's locally up north that know about this happening are thinking of Sheffield and what happened in Sheffield with all the trees being uprooted and pulled down and removed in the name of development for the city centre again. So I'm going to do a reading because my friend's really worried that this is a precursor to gearing up to the 2030 plans for smart cities. And it's a fact that 5G can't operate effectively where there are trees, lots of trees. So that's one of the reasons that some of the councils may have been wanting to cut the trees down to push ahead with this smart city agenda. So I'm going to pull the cards on that and see whether there's something. Number one, I'm going to ask, the first question I'm going to ask is, was this in order to, with the intention of creating a smart city, Plymouth as a smart city? And then I want to find out whether this is something that we need to worry about across the country. And then I want to ask the question, is this smart city plan, if it is the smart city agenda, is it actually going to succeed in going ahead fully? Or are there going to be a few situations where certain cities this happens to, and because of the response of the people, it stops, it gets halted? So I'm going to use the Rider-Waite cards, but then I've also got other cards, oracle cards, that I'm going to ask for clarification on when I feel the need, the urge. I might not need to, I might not want to, but I love using a mixture of cards. And I've also got these are the first cards I got on there. They're only little Rider-Waite cards. Oh, falling on the floor. But they're like my friends. They're like my friends. I love these little cards. They're the least sexy in terms of design and everything, but they're the sweetest to me. I love them. Anyway, right. So let me shuffle and tune into Plymouth City Council. What can the cards tell me about the reason for these trees being uprooted in Plymouth? on Sunday night, nearly hours of the morning. Okay, first card. So the first card is a signifier. So the first card is the issue of the trees having been pulled up and removed by Plymouth City Council. And that is this one. Second one is the context. Now that to me, well, we'll see. Let's see what the other cards are. The next card, the third card, is the past, the immediate past, the background to this. That. The fourth card is the conditions. That. The fifth card is the outcome. King of Cups. Doesn't look very promising. Doesn't look very good, unless this is the start. Let's see what the unless these cards are referring to what has created the situation in the first place, we may have reassuring information come out for the future. Let's see. So I'm now going to pull the advisory cards. That's an advisory card. Ace of Cups. And the next advisory card is the Four of Cups. Then the clarification cards, the Emperor and Justice. Right. Let's see. So I'm going to take this phone down now and you can see the layout and I'll talk to you. You'll hear my voice and see the cards. Okay. So, Nine of Wands. My God, this thing is rocking. It's driving me mad, the sound of it. Listen to this, it's beautiful. Love it. Okay. Yeah, this is demoralised. For this situation, it's demoralisation. Absolutely demoralised. This is the people of Plymouth. Context. This is dark. This is dark. These are this card in this context are the dark forces. There's certain people celebrating the fact that these trees have been uprooted. And this card also relates to the dark side of power structures. The conditions are the Eight of Swords, yeah. People were powerless. People were sleeping. They were not able to stop it. The background. This is like a bullshit proposal, a bullshit future that has been told to the people of Plymouth that these trees need to be pulled up and the city needs to be redesigned and regenerated and changed for this facade, for what it's a facade, this card in relation to this situation. So the people need to accept that, a bright future, a beautiful rainbow life is going to exist. It's part of the woke ideology, I would say. And it is connected. I think these cards are telling us that it's connected. The reason why it happened was because it is connected to this woke culture, and it's connected to the agenda. It is connected to the agenda for smart cities, Agenda 2030. This outcome king there is somebody connected with these people, these dark people, these people that drink red substance, these people who are of a vampiric nature, these people who practice rituals, and the person who is overseeing this is connected to that lodge. I have to speak cryptically. King of Cups has secrets under his cloak. King of Cups, it depends how it's aspected. It can either be the ability to express love and be a supportive, loving, dependable, empathic presence from the divine masculine, or it can be fraud. It can be secrets. In this case, it's fraud. In this case, it's deception. Then advisory cards, the Ace of Cups and the Four of Cups. So cups are water. Water is emotion. The King is water, King of Cups and Four of Cups. That's interesting, that. And the Three of Cups and the Ten of Cups. So a lot of emotional investment going on in this. Much grief. I see here it's being presented to the people of Plymouth. There's been a lot of emotional manipulation and attempt to get them on board, like emotional blackmail, some forms of emotional blackmail, forms of coercion through employing emotional blackmail. But what it's resulted in is an outpouring of grief. It's been presented as a wonderful solution. It's been presented as something that is progressive. It's that hand comes from heaven. It's been presented to the people as something that, will benefit them, will be of great service to them. But in reality, it's something that has happened within this context, and this context is not happy at all. And this person is deceitful and fraudulent and dishonest. And of course, they're dressed up as this amazing, fantastic offering, but the people are not accepting the offering in that way. See? The people want the trees. They're not buying into this bullshit that's been presented here. They're not buying into it. Now the Emperor and Justice. This is encouraging. So these are clarification cards. There's another energy, another frequency at play here that is going to come in, sweep in. There's somebody or an energetic frequency that's overseeing what's happening, and there will absolutely be justice done in respect of this situation. So I think the cards that have been pulled here, these are all giving the scenario, okay? But this one and this one are about a stronger energy. The Emperor is stronger than the King of Cups. The Emperor and Justice are stronger than all of these. If you notice, the Emperor and the Justice are the Major Arcana cards. And the Major Arcana cards are the ones that are much more stable and solid. They're not transient. The Minor Arcana cards are transient. They tell a story of how things got from A to B. But this is the A and this is the B. Well, no, sorry. Change it again. The Minor Arcana cards will tell you how things get from one to the other. And they're temporary. They deal with temporary situations. And then they deal with certain archetypes of types of energetic frequencies as embodied by particular qualities of people. The kings, the knight, the queen, and the ace is and the page, sorry. So here, overlooking all of this is the Emperor and Mistress Justice. And these are what are going to be the long-lasting, abiding outcome in the end. So I'm going to pull some more cards for clarification and put this back up. There we are. I'm going quite steadily and slowly with this reading. I don't want to rush in with it. This, whatever noise is happening, something's rattling. You know when you've got a rattle? Every time I move the table, the rattle happens. I hope you can't hear it. So, yeah, it's been sold to the people on the basis of what they should think. But it hasn't been sold to the people because the people are not bought it. They're not buying into it. They're not agreeing with it. So this card is when you're hampered. I think there's some people in there, even in their authority, the council, that they're not able to see clearly at all because they're totally swamped by this woke culture of what you are supposed to think, what you are supposed to be like, what you are supposed to stand for. So it's tied in with this green agenda where I don't see how pulling up trees is a green agenda, but it's tied in with what's being justified for this carbon neutral 2030 smart city agenda. There are people in the council who are just simply going with the sway of these. without realising that there's something darker at play, that there's something at play here where it's about people who practice rituals of a vampiric nature and who decide or think they can decide what's going to happen. And for centuries, they've got away with making decisions on behalf of the public and the people of the world. And they've got away with using the world as a chessboard. And it's that agenda that has blinded and hamstrung and frozen the ability of many members of the council to actually see what's happening, because they're hemmed in by what they are supposed to think, or they think they're supposed to think, or they bought in to what they are supposed to think as dictated by this agenda. And this guy is the guy with secrets. This represents the secrets held by these. So he comes from that organisation. Yeah. Presented as a happy, like the all-American dream, the all-smart dream, smart city dream, being presented as if it's this. And the people of Plymouth know that it's not that. And they're not seeing that. They're seeing this. Normally this is a heaven sent. This is an opportunity to have something that you hadn't imagined, and it's a heaven sent. But in this context, I think this is basically telling us that the way that idea has been presented as being your cup will overfloweth, and your life will be so much better, and our agenda, our woke agenda, and I make no apology for saying that. That agenda is they're trying to be sold. They're being sold a lie. They're being sold, and that is being presented to them as what it will achieve for them. But those who are people of Plymouth who are absolutely demoralised and feel that they can't fight this any longer, that they're coming to the end of their ability to fight it. I mean, ripping up all those trees, it's like fait accompli. So the stamina of people in Plymouth and the morale of the people of Plymouth, I think this card is showing how low that is and how stretched that is and how incredibly weary they are. And that is reflecting in this as well. All they can see is what they've lost and what they wanted to keep. They're not buying that. They're not buying that. In fact, this for them is absolute overflowing of emotional grief and trauma. So I'm going to pull some more cards. I want to know more about the Emperor and the Justice card. So the Emperor and the Justice card, major arcanas, and they are what will stand the test of time more than the minor arcanas. Justice card is a karma card as well. It can be a karma card. So 3 clarification cards, please. Oh my goodness. 3 clarification cards came out. The first one was the Lovers. The second one was the 4 of Cups. And the third one was the Page of Cups. Oh, there is so much. Yeah, deals being done. So the Lover's card, this is deals, business deals, indicates business deals. Again, people are not buying it. But the Page of Cups has been coming along and trying to present the benefits. The people are definitely not seeing it as that. People of Plymouth are not seeing it as that. But how this relates to the Emperor. Let's pull 3 clarification cards for the Justice card as well. Aha, this is flipped as well. The Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is when the swords are at a horizontal, it means that there is, the Ten of Swords is about worry. 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is worrying needlessly. So this is telling me that in the bigger picture, the worry and the heartbreak and the staying awake at night and the sadness that this situation has had on the people of Plymouth, long term, their fears, and also long term, the fears that it's given many of us about it being part of the smart city agenda. All the fears and the anxiety that this situation has brought up are unfounded long term. Right, I'm going to ask for 3 clarification cards for the 9 of Swords. This is a slowly emerging reading. Some readings come back, and other readings, it takes a while to get with the frequencies of the cards and what the cards are saying. 4 cards just jumped out, but I'd hardly shuffled. I'm going to put them back in. If they need to come out again, they'll come out. 3 clarification cards, please, for the 9 of Swords. And then I'll pull for the Justice card. 1, the Fool. That's interesting. Beginning of a journey, the Fool. That wanted to fly out. King of Wands. One more clarification card for the 9 of Swords, please. Page of Swords. And the 2 of... What? Sorry, not Page of Swords. Page of Wands. And the 2 of Wands. Right, okay. So, overall, in the bigger picture, despite what has happened, the fears and the anxieties that this has brought up in people are not going to be proved to be accurate and realistic long term. So now I'm going to pull 3 cards for the Justice. Oh my gosh. And the card that fell out was the Emperor. And what came out next to the Justice card? The Emperor. Oh my gosh. These cards are amazing. I just bloody love it. 2 more cards, please, for the Justice card. Two more cards for the Justice card. I feel the Emperor is a collective energy. I don't feel that it's a person as such. Ace of Swords. That was a clarification that yes, the Emperor is a collective energy. This card came out as a 3rd one. It dropped out, wanted to come out. This card is the counterpart to this card. The Angel, the Devil, the Lovers, the shackled lovers. They're not really lovers. It can be you shackled to a dark energy. It can be addictions. It can be something that seems and feels immovable. You're blighted by something that you can't shift. So these two are very much counterparts. But within the devil very much is a positive card, believe it or not. The chains that connect them to the devil are loose. They could remove those chains. And instead of having the wings of an angel, have the wings of the bat. And the bat symbolizes rebirth. So it's an opportunity. There's going to be an opportunity to turn this around. Let's pull another card for that. Clarification. Oh, jumped out. Broken heart. Clarification card for the Three of Swords, please. The devil causes heartbreak. But this one wanted to fly out. Look! This one flipped. Told me it wanted to come out. It's the same card as this. Just amazing. Okay. A clarification card. One more clarification card, please. For that Nine of Wands. Two of Pentacles. I'm just going to pause. I'll be back in a sec. I'm back. Sorry about that, mind you. For you, it wouldn't have been a wait, would it? I just paused the video. Right, so this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because with the clarification card for the Emperor, we've got the Lovers. We've got the Four of Cups. And we've got the Page of Cups. And for the clarification card for the Justice card, we have the Emperor, the Ace of Swords, the Devil, the Three of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. What is so fantastically remarkable is that we have a doubling up of the original Four of Cups and the original Emperor. So, you look at the Emperor. Emperor with these three clarification cards. Yeah. Just bear with me. I'm just having a really good tune in. Sometimes it flows like, on other times it takes a while to pick up and to get the energies and to make sense of it. The Emperor is a guardian. Emperor is an archetype of a guardian. Emperor is somebody who, look at him. The Emperor is somebody who is solid. He's got his stone solid throne. He's connected to the sign of Aries with the ram. He's a powerful man, an emperor. He sees all, he gives orders. He's got the wisdom, the white beard, he's got the wisdom of age and experience, and he holds a guardianship role. The orange behind him is connected to the sacral chakra. The orange, the second chakra up from the root. And that's ancestry, generational history. Okay, I'm getting a sense. I'm getting a sense of a spirit of somebody who in ancient times was emperor, ruler, king of that area. And it's the energy and the frequency that ancient energy frequency of that person who lived in those ancient times is really strong. And on the spirit level is putting so much energy into this situation to bring about justice, which is why he came up as a clarification card. The first clarification card for the justice card was again the Emperor. Let's see what I can pick up. Yeah, there's a really, really, really strong energy of an ancient king, leader, king, emperor. I don't know what they called them in those days. I want to say Viking, but I don't. Ancient, just ancient, ancient. Could even be British, English, British Isles. I'm sorry this reading isn't snappy. There's a lot in this situation, and there's a lot in these cards that have come up. And I'm proceeding carefully and steadily, and I don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to make shit up either, which is what can happen if you're not careful, if you're in your head and not in your totally centered in your source and seeing from your heart. Your third eye needs to be seeing through your heart chakra. And this is a more slowly unfolding story here. So this emperor, I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. This emperor is guardian spirit. Guardian spirit. And this emperor has such a strong sense of investment. The ghost of the emperor, the spirit, it's like a protector of the area, a guardian protector of the area. From way back. And he's not left that area. He's not left that area. Death didn't cause him to leave that area. Part of him is still there in the air, in the energetic frequency, in the, it's like a protective overseer of the area. And yet, yeah. So it was karmic. As unpleasant as it was karmic what happened. And because of that, it couldn't be stopped by him. But now that it's happened, and now that that karma has played itself out, he will be now energetically with the people of Plymouth to help it's like a guardian angel of the area, but like a ferocious, strong, commanding, that part of his spirit energy that lived in ancient times in one-dimensional existence is still there. Past, present, and future is one. So on one dimensional frequency, he's still there, and his energy for justice is going to bring about that sword of truth to expose. And this Ace of Swords is totally in rhythm with the Justice card. It's not surprising that the first card was the Emperor, the second card, to clarify, was the Ace of Swords. There we have the sword of justice, the sword of truth. Okay, the Emperor is going to succeed in bringing truth and justice, the sword of justice. The details, yeah. So the truth of the dark arts is going to be revealed. For justice's sake, the sword of truth will expose this. When you've got this and this card in the same reading, we are definitely talking about very dark organisation that parades itself as being helpful to the community and just simple fraternity, but we all know that there's other stuff that goes on higher up in that organisation, in that society, and that many secrets are held by the people that are part of that society. So it's going to be exposed. The truth will come out, and the truth will be dealt with. And the impact on the hearts that have been broken, the demoralisation that is being felt of the devil energy that created this situation. There's going to be a swap. I'm now going to pull for clarification cards for this, because there's going to be a swap. The situation is going to be reversed. It's going to be altered. I'm wondering, No, I'm going to stick with these. I'm going to go back. Yeah, I'm going to use these. Just thinking out loud, don't mind me. Right, the Two of Pentacles. Can we have? And now it pops. Okay. So, 2 clarification cards for the Two of Pentacles dropped out. 10 of Swords and the Queen of Cups. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. This symbolises the Temple of the Rose in Rosicrucian. Esoteric tradition. This here, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a temple, and this, and it's shaped like this, and it's the Rose, Temple of the Rose. I think it's called the Temple of the Rose, and it's a Rosicrucian ancient building. And the cup that the Queen of Cups in the tarot is looking at is the design of the top part of that temple. In fact, all of it, all of it. I think that temple is in Greece, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me. So there's going to be a defeat of, there's a heavy amount of dark stuff gone on in that area. But there's going to be a defeat of that and of this. I'd like 3 more clarification cards, please. This is normally a compassionate person, but I believe that this card came up because literally that cup was to back up what I already strongly suspect is at play here. They're all symbols and indicators of what energy we're dealing with that's created this situation. And so it's not so much about the Queen of Cups, it's about the cup and the fact that that cup is the model of Rosicrucian Temple of the Rose, to confirm that we're dealing with something very dark. So, clarification cards for the Ten of Swords and the Queen of Cups, please. Oh, how nice. So, we've got a swap going on. The situation is going to change. There's going to be a defeat of all that is represented by this, which is that, and that. A defeat of the dark society. And what will emerge is the Nine of Pentacles and the Empress. Oh my gosh! And we've got the Emperor. This is so fascinating because these two make a pair, and these two, and the Emperor and the Empress make a pair. Oh my gosh. Right. the Emperor's will for justice will be done. And you know what this card is? This card represents sovereignty. It represents independence. It represents a people who are not enslaved. It represents freedom, independence, sovereignty, wealth, abundance. She's the most divine feminine of the pack. These two both echo each other, because the Empress also represents sovereignty, abundance, fertility, divine feminine, independence. Look at her, she's wearing a crown. All that is needed comes to her. This is for the people. And the Empress and the Emperor will have justice on this situation. And that is why the other 3 cards that came out, or 4 cards that came out to clarify this, was the Fool, beginning of a new era, a new journey, and the Fool stepped. This person needs guarantees. This person is looking at what's happening in the outside world and stressing and full of anxiety. This person is about knowing that whatever goes on in the outside world, all will be well, because they've got their own resources. And their own resources comes from lifetimes out of lifetimes of life experiences and of evolution and karmic development, and having all that you need inside you to set off into a new direction, on a new journey, in a new era, on a new path, without needing any guarantees that everything's going to be okay, without needing a roadmap, without needing anything except trust in yourself. And then we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is connected to the Emperor. And the King of Wands stands for truth and integrity. Wands are new beginnings, new ideas, fertile ideas. And these new ideas are being focused on. There's much, but they're when I say swords are ideas, but here, these ones, it's projects, new projects. There's going to be new projects occur. There's going to be a new era of beautiful projects, new projects. The people of Plymouth will be freed from the entrapment of what they've been encased in here, and an opportunity for a new world, and to step through that gap with choices and with innovative entrepreneurial choices. So the story is reversed. So there will be changes in Plymouth, but those changes will not be the work of these people. These changes will be the work of the outcome of the Emperor and the Empress energy, where all that is required and needed is fulfilled and is available, made available to the people. The people of Plymouth will emerge sovereign. and have the opportunity for a new beginning with new creative projects, and they will be able to step out of the confines of the prison that this agenda has enslaved people in for generations and generations and generations. It's playing itself through for the people of Plymouth. But this ancient king and his queen, the spirit and the energy of these two people. I've got to find out some ancient history about Plymouth, because I am sure there'll be something. These ancient souls that watch over Plymouth are going to ensure that the people of Plymouth are in that sovereign position. And there will be healing. Out of an awful situation will come an improved circumstance. Won't bring the trees back, but the plan of these bastards won't happen. And the whole woke agenda and smart city presentation won't be bought, won't be accepted. That came up twice. An opportunity for a deal, an attempt to make a deal, still not being accepted. The Page of Cups coming along, trying again. But the person who's dealing with that is the Emperor. The Emperor energy won't allow this now to happen. The karmic, how can I put it? The necessary karma, collective karma for the people of Plymouth, for whatever reason, it had to happen. But alongside that is the Emperor energy, the Emperor guardian spirit, guardian angel of Plymouth, the people of Plymouth, emerged twice. And sovereignty, abundance. The Empress, for nature's fertility. There's no lack of fertility from the natural world with the Empress. Out of a very unfortunate collective karmic lesson, experience, now that has happened, this healing will occur. Healing will occur. So I'd be interested in what you make of it. It wasn't a fast, zappy reading. There's a lot to this. It's the old world making its way out and the new world coming in. And it's not the new world of that agenda, the rainbow agenda. The WEF agenda and all that. It's absolute sovereignty restored, and the true spirit and identity of Plymouth, for the people of Plymouth, will emerge. justice will be done. There's a heavy reading. There's a lot of this. The devil is making its way out. The devil has had its day. And the emperor. I know I keep bringing these back up again. Justice, sovereignty, and the balance of the masculine and the feminine, divine feminine, and all that comes with protection and guardianship and natural, the fertility of nature, the abundance of nature. It will be restored. It will come to the people of Plymouth in a way that they have never known it before. Now then, am I going to pull some oracle cards? Yeah. I'd like to know what the soul lesson, the karmic soul lesson for Plymouth, for the people of Plymouth, has been in this situation. And let's see whether the soul's journey, I need to learn how to flip it around so you don't see it back to front. It's the soul's journey lesson cards. What is the lesson in this for the people of Plymouth? Oh, and what's come out, flowed out? Worry and blame. That was the card of worry. Okay, so let's see what else emerges. I'm beginning to see something here. One more card, please. And out it pops. Worry, blame, and health. That came up. That health card came up in the other reading as well, didn't it? And the Matt Hancock reading. Let's have another one. Worry, blame, health. Fourth one, please. Fourth card. And friendship. Okay, I know what this is. Friendship and not division. So worry, in a disempowered way, leads people to be blaming. Blame, 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 worry, which blocks the health of a place and a situation, and blocks friendship, blocks cooperation, community. This is going to help. Yeah. So Plymouth, what I get from these cards, Plymouth has been a divided place. The people, there've been two camps and they haven't managed to harmonise and join together. And each side has been blaming the other. Each side has been giving each other cause for worry. Two polarities have been existing. When you've got two polarities in an area, that leaves you weak. That leaves the area weak. That leaves the city weak. And when that city and area and the energies are not unified and are not strong as with friendship, and consequently healthy, outsiders are able to come in with their own agendas. So the objectives of those that are writing and have created the policies for smart cities and for Agenda 2030 and all of that, they're on the periphery. But each city in the UK and other countries in the world is made up of people who those ideas are going to affect. And if those people don't have unity and harmony and a friendly coexistence, and if those people are blaming each other and causing each other worry, then they are weak from outside invasion. And that's what happened. The outside policies have invaded the inside of that city. So let me ask what the karmic lesson is. Is there a card that can sum up the karmic lesson for this? Worry, blame, that has been, maybe it's been in the Council of Plymouth, maybe it's been an energetic frequency that there's been not enough unity. Oh my gosh. So the karmic lesson is acceptance. When you can accept difference and not be pointing the finger of blame and creating worry from the polarities that exist, and when you can establish some commonality that can lead things through friendship and collaboration and respect, then a place will experience health. A place will be healthy. And the karmic lesson for the people of Plymouth in this situation is to make peace with each other, the two polarities, the two camps, to find aspects about each other, instead of creating blame and pointing the finger of blame, to find ways that where acceptance. With acceptance comes health. With friendship comes acceptance. Two friends don't need to agree with each other. I've got friends who are my dearest friends, and we're poles apart in our opinions, but it doesn't make any difference to the love we can share with each other, with the acceptance we have of each other. We can accept each other's differences. So, yeah, it's a collective lesson, and it's about collective evolution. I'm going to ask what Sufi Wisdom Oracle cards have to say. What would you like to... Sufi Wisdom Oracle cards, what would you like to say to add to the soul journey wisdom? Nothing's dropping out. I'm going to shuffle 3 more times and then I'll cut the cards and pull. Oh, heart of the matter. And the wisdom, align the pathways through the heart. That way there's health. When you can recognize reasons for friendship, you can align the health pathways through the heart. When you can accept differences, you can align the pathways through the heart. Heart of the matter. Align life's pathways through the heart. Like that. And I'm just thinking about the pairs that came up in this reading. We've got the King of Cups, we've got the Queen of Cups, we've got the Emperor, we've got the Empress, we've got the Devil, we've got the Lovers. Let me find them. I shuffled them all back together again. Emperor, Lovers, Lovers. Where's the Devil? We've got the Emperor twice as well. I think this Emperor, is an old English, Saxon. I don't think he's Viking. I think he's British Isles. It might even be pagan, old. He's old energy. I can see stone, I can see like times of Boadicea, Boudica. It's that time. So, okay. So, Emperor, Empress. Align pathways through the heart. Acceptance of difference. Friendship. The Lovers, the Devil. Polarities again. Healing comes from acceptance, from friendship, not from blame. Then we've got, where is the Queen of Cups? Got the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. Okay, so they're all, and then we've got the Two of Pentacles. It's about joining the two to create a harmonious one. Okay? Yeah, that's the karmic lesson. There's been too much separation. And it's about something that karmically had to happen. And out of that, people are going to have to pull together to make the city of Plymouth what they want it to be. And that ancient emperor energy that is watching over Plymouth, that has never left Plymouth, that belongs to Plymouth from centuries back, from an ancient king, leader, emperor type figure. Now that karma has been played out with the trees being ripped up, justice and change will happen. The people of Plymouth need to come together and align their paths, all the different paths, through the heart centre. And that will enable this scenario to be what is experienced as the outcome on this sorry, I'm looking for the Fool card now, on this new journey that is there for Plymouth, the people of Plymouth, to experience. It will be okay in the end. But this was needed to expose the dark and for the people to come together and to stand strong with that Emperor and Empress energy and establish sovereignty for the people of Plymouth. So please like and please subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed what you've seen. Comment, respectful comments, any troll comments, and they'll be deleted, they'll be removed. But I'd be interested in anybody who knows anything about Plymouth, ancient, old, ancient kings, emperor, anybody who knows anything about that, I'd be fascinated. I know that emperor, that king has never left Plymouth, been watching over the people of Plymouth, and he's kicking into action now. The energy is giving out, but it's for the people of Plymouth to come together now. And don't sit doing nothing and blame an outcome. Don't sit worrying. Come together in friendship. Have healthy relations. Find acceptance between each other. And align your paths through the heart. Okay. Thank you. Bye. See you soon. Hello, everybody. I've just read a really sad article from the Daily Telegraph written by Isabel Oakeshott. She's that journalist that leaked the messages that Matt Hancock had sent. And so I'm just going to, for those of you that don't know, although I think it has been all over the news, but if you're like me and have been trying to keep away from the noise of news, you might not really know the implications and the deep, all that's gone on. So I'm going to pick bits out of this article that I read, and then I'm going to do a spread to find out what's going to go on with Matt Hancock in response to what's been discovered. So Isabel Oakeshott wrote an article in the Daily Telegraph today, 3rd of March. Was it just today, 3rd of March? No, it's 4th of March today. Yesterday was the 3rd of March. The dreadful consequences of Matt Hancock's lockdown scare tactics. Those responsible for Project Fear, which is what he referred to, intending to do, is create Project Fear to make people follow the COVID regulations. Those responsible for Project Fear had no idea about the lives of society's most vulnerable. In 2020, Anne-Marie, a mother, lost her son, her 15-year-old son, called Mark, he killed himself, he hung himself. So they'd been living in Bootle on an impoverished housing estate. because of all the restrictions, they were not able for them to, the local park had been closed, and his 5-year-old hyperactive brother couldn't be taken to play on the park, and living on this estate where bins were not being emptied anymore and they were on complete shutdown on this estate in Bootle, meant that life was unbearable. She's a single mother, and her kids were cooped up inside. I don't know if they were in an apartment, flat, house, but anyway, it was bad enough to cause her to move to the northeast. But she wasn't able to get Mark enrolled into a new school when the schools went back. So in the autumn, when the pupils went back to school, the authorities said that he'd have to be homeschooled for his GCSEs. As a result of not being able to get out and play football and get exercise, Mark put on weight, and he became increasingly isolated and frightened when the older children returned to school that autumn, and he was at home still fearing all the variants and being affected by all the fearful news items that were coming out on the media, bombarding us on the media. His nails were bitten to the bone, and with each new strain used for Project Fear, Mark became so scared of the virus that he refused even to open his bedroom window. Frightened of the air, he wore a mask everywhere. The frightening news bulletins were obviously really affecting him. The fear of another lockdown was paralysing him, with the Omicron variant announced, which, by the way, is the word Omicron. You find a word in there, it's moronic. With the Omicron variant announced and another fear campaign, he popped out to the shops and never returned. This was on Christmas Eve, 3 days later, he was found hanging from a tree. He was cremated and his ashes were scattered on a beach near Hartlepool. So the end of the article says it's clear that frightening the pants off people, which is what Matt Hancock was leaked to have said in those WhatsApp messages, frightening the pants off people really had truly dreadful consequences. And in the article, she points out that people in leafy suburbs of London, with the money to enjoy themselves at home and in their garden, obviously weren't having the same experience. So there was a real disparity in, disparity. There was no equality for different members of the country, society, community. So anyway, I'm going to do a spread, and I want to look up what's the outcome going to be for Matt Hancock. Now, what many of us knew has been exposed. So that's the cards. Shuffling the cards. I've got Oracle cards here as well, and I've got the Rider-Waite cards. What is going to be the result of this leak about Matt Hancock's and his cronies' intentions for Project Fear? What is going to be the outcome of this? Is he going to be held to account? Is the whole lid going to come off? What was really going on during that time? An exposure happen. I'm going to shuffle 3 more times. I was going to say, any card that wants to pop out, pop out. Right, this is interesting. Cards that have popped out already. One more shuffle. Ooh! There we are. One more shuffle. Oh! Whoop! Falling out. We'll put these back in. I think there's a... These two want to stay out. Right, okay. I'm going to show you which cards have fallen out before I do another shuffle for an actual spread. So this fell out first of all. This is where people collaborate. There's more people obviously in this than just Matt Hancock. It was a collaborative project fair. It wasn't just Matt Hancock. A lot of secrets, dark secrets are going to come out very, very quickly. That's the fastest action card of the Knights, and the Knights are action cards. Very quickly these secrets are going to come out. And this is a messenger, pages of messages. Maybe this is the journalist that's written, but this is a leakage. This is the messenger. This is the Nine of Wands. Weariness of the public over this issue. The public have already become very wary over it. I'm going to look more into that. I'm not 100% on what that is right now. And then the Queen of Pentacles, that's another one. Pentacles also represent health, as well as earth and as well as resources. It represents health. So information we were given, messages we were given about our health. Anyway, I'll look more into that. I'm going to switch this off and then do another video for the actual spread. I'm going to cut the cards and spread. Right, I'm back. One final shuffle, 3 more shuffles, and then I'm going to pull the card. And basically I want to know what is going to happen to Matt Hancock. What is the outcome of this as regards Matt Hancock? Lots of questions to ask about this, isn't there? Okay, first, do you remember that came up with Boris? Scrutiny on what his track record has been. Oh, the Hierophant, abuse of power. The context is the abuse of power. Oh my God, that couldn't be more clear. That's the past. King of Wands, just coming up. Conditions speaks for itself, doesn't it? Outcome, Temperance. What's the word? I always forget. Advisory card. Chariot. That's the fastest moving card in the pack. Fastest moving Major Arcana. So we've got 2 of the fastest moving cards here. There's definitely a job to be done, and it's not going away. And then the Fool is another advisory card. Clarification cards is in the public eye. 6 of Wands, yet, and another one. That came up for Boris again, didn't it? The heartbreak. No going back. Can't go back and make the past okay again. It's happened. Right, so I'm going to take this down and I'm going to show you I'm going to read it. So this is how it's looking. These are the cards that fell out. This card also is represents municipal buildings, so that can be Parliament, very easily be Parliament. So there were deals being done. It was a group effort. It was a collaboration of people within Parliament. And a lot of dark secrets in that Parliament. A lot of dark secrets, which are going to come out very quickly now. And the messenger has arrived. The messenger's going to tell us what needs to come out, going to reveal the secrets. And this may have been in its heyday during COVID. but it's now coming to the end, very much at the end, on its last legs. They don't have any power anymore. They don't have any strength anymore. This one, I'm not sure yet what this is, how this fits. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that. This is really, really clear though. So now we're looking at what Matt Hancock did. We're looking at the context. The context is this card comes up. In this context, it's purely about the abuse of power. The abuse of power of those in authority, which happens with government ministers, it happens with religious figures, it happens with heads of people in positions of leadership in schools, people that work with children, the abuse that goes on. Not all people that work with children, don't get me wrong. People in positions of power, the abuse of power. Conditions is the heartbreak that speaks for itself. So these three cards are mapping out what we're talking about, the context and what we're talking about. Now we go to the King of Wands. So the King of Wands, wands are about truth and integrity, and this is about the past. We're not talking about the far past, we're talking about the immediate past. So there are people now in leadership positions that actually want the truth to come out, and they're quite solid with that. And I think there's somebody overseeing this. The King of Wands oversees projects. They're kind of like they have the ideas, and then they delegate for those ideas and projects to come to fruition. And wands signify new life, new ideas, new projects. So there's a new form of overall leadership going on somewhere, not necessarily with the present government ministers, not necessarily with King Charles, but there's a new what's the word? There's a new leadership basically overseeing things. That's what this is. And the person in the public eye is Matt Hancock. The people in the public eye are the politicians that were part of this. So this is in the public eye. Okay, now he may have been seeking approval, public approval, and it's certainly, the article talks about how he was motivated by being praised for having rigorous COVID policies, him and his cronies. So I think this is him previously riding in public, looking the arrogance, the aggrandizement of the man, and those that were part of that, the government policy and part of the parliamentary decisions. So I see this in this instance. Normally this is a victory, but I see this more as he can also be very arrogant, and this is can be a card that expresses the ego, the arrogant ego. This is what they're looking for: public accolade for being tough on COVID and pats on the back. That's what he was hoping for. But the reality is this. The reality is that Project Fear has put people in this situation where there's no going back. There's absolutely no going back. When you've lost somebody as a result of COVID, when you've lost somebody as a result of them committing suicide, because the bombarding of the media put them in a state where they didn't want to live anymore, and they go and kill themselves, you can't bring those people back. So the way it was handled has caused these cups of love is now turned to heartbreak, too much heartbreak for those that were left, those that are grieving the loss of their loved ones. That's all they can see. So this person here represents either a collective of people or one person overseeing it all, but certainly a new kind of leadership, because ones are about truth and integrity. Now then, the outcome, temperance. I see this as an attempt to heal. I see this as an attempt to also temper the impact of what the media was like, to bring some balance back into media, what the public are told by the media. I'm going to switch off and come back. We're on 8 minutes 30 now. Right, so we're on episode 3 now. I'm so sorry I have to do this. I'm so sorry. At some point I won't have to do it. So this card, as the outcome, is that there is a massive, it's clear, through now the publicity, the leakages, whatever things are in place to rumble this abuse of power, there's a massive attempt now to temper the information that was put out to the extreme in a fear-mongering manner during COVID. The outcome is that people's extreme fears, extreme versions of what COVID was all about is hopefully going to be tempered by, I say hopefully, the outcome says it's going to be tempered. This is a tempering of what the likes of Matt Hancock left in people's awareness about COVID and what it was all about. And there's no time being wasted to do this. The Chariot card is about people of the Chariot card as their archetype are people that are justice seeking, will fight to the very end for justice. They have no fear. They'll get into the Chariot and they'll charge for justice. And this here is a mini Wheel of Fortune. And that mini Wheel of Fortune is basically this is what this is doing. This whole situation where the leakages have happened now, and even the Daily Telegraph is I've had a look on the various other news items that they were reporting on, and quite a good few damning headlines in the Telegraph of the articles that the journalists have been making, and calling it out for what many of us were already calling out at the time. So this Chariot it's got a job to do, and he's not stopping until he gets that job done, just the same as the Knight of Swords. Truth-seeking, justice-wielding Knight of Swords, and the Chariot is bringing in the big boys now, the heavies. That Chariot's not going anywhere except for in the direction of truth and to put right the injustice and to try and turn the Wheel of Fortune, the fate, into the direction of balance, to balance out people's faulty, misguided knowledge that they were fed by all that fear-mongering and bombarding of propaganda in the news. So this is very much about righting wrongs and fighting for justice. And people with Chariot archetypes also are determined, and they're focused, and they don't let up until they actually get where they intended to get. And then the other advisory card is that we're on the dawn of a new cycle, a new way. We're on the dawn, and this is also challenging people to start relying on themselves. The Fool steps off onto a journey without knowing, necessarily having a map, and without knowing what's going to come. But the Fool knows that inside him or her, with the life experiences and the soul experiences from incarnation after incarnation, they have everything they need. And that little bag there at the end of a stick is symbolic of having your bag of tools to help you to navigate yourself on your journey. So we're with this Chariot and with the Knight of Swords and with this whole energy to expose publicly the truth and the reality, the dark secrets and the abuse of power. With all of that comes the tempering of the extreme fear and extreme, fearful opinions and information that had lodged in people's minds, and the beginning of a new, what's the word? A new way of going forward, basically, where people start to rely on their own intuition. They start to rely on their own inner soul wisdom and their own wisdom from their life they've lived. So they don't forget about that in favour of what they're being told by some corrupt politician. They actually dig into themselves, and they steer themselves through their life without needing to know what the rules are, without needing to be following a roadmap set out for them by somebody else. So in a nutshell, that's that. I'm going to, hang on a minute. I'm going to do some clarification cards. Try and get this on. There we are. Okay, I'm going to do some clarification cards now. When I pick this up, the card on the bottom is this. This is smoke and mirrors. This is when people are being conned. The sleight of hand of the magician. The media, when they lie and they present propaganda, this is the card that is relevant to that. So it's interesting that that should be on the bottom of the pack. I'm going to shuffle more. Okay, so I want a clarification card for the Queen of Pentacles, please. I'm not sure what that one's there for, but it'll be there for a reason. Clarification card for the Queen of Pentacles, please. I'm going to shuffle 3 more times. Cards flip out if you need to flip out. I'm going to cut now. Clarification cards, 3 clarification cards for the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. We've got the King of Wands here. Right, okay. The Moon. Oh my gosh, the Moon. Secrets. The Moon and the High Priestess totally connect together. And the Moon also refers to, can be a card that refers to people passing over, dying. So, for the sake of truth and integrity, there's definitely a strong alliance of people now who want truth, and they want the truth exposed for the sake of truth and integrity. And this little cat here is intuition, represents intuition. It's intuition that the Fool uses, and his what's the word? The knowledge he's gained from his life journey and his incarnations. Okay, so we've got that, and then the next one is, yeah, I'm seeing it from the opposite direction to the way that we were told to see it. This ties in with this Temperance. See, the water gets poured upside down, then it gets poured into here, and then it's tapped back upside down again, and it's being poured. And people are going to be given the information that they need in order to start realizing and seeing it from a different angle and expanding their awareness. See, he's got his awareness, the angel, the wisdom and awareness developing here. I'm going to switch this off. We're on 8 minutes. I'm going to come back on in a minute. I'm back again. So this is the third, episode 3 now, I think. So yes, this is really interesting because these two mirror each other, and these two together, I think these two make a whole. Okay, so with the pouring, this is very alchemical. People are going to start literally changing. This information is going to jolt some massive changes in people. People are going to actually go into a kind of, this is where the hangman is kind of it's a chrysalis, and in that chrysalis the hanged man gains knowledge and insight and expanded awareness, and this is going to be what the outcome is, that people are going to now start sifting and sorting and how can I put it? Sorting the information that they were given, and in the way that the alchemist plays with liquids, gases, solids, to hone and to refine and refine and refine to get the purest substance. This is what we're going to be doing naturally as a result of this coming out. So we're going to start striving for the purest information on this, the purest knowledge, and we're going to be put in a position where, from 1 minute the scare tactics are completely believable. The next minute, those scare tactics are being turned on the head, and we're being told that they were just tactics. Everything's upside down from what many people believe it was, as a result of the propaganda during COVID and that Project Fear that Hancock and his cronies. Well, there are not three of them as well: Hancock, Valance, and Whitty. Oh my God! Yeah. So sorry. There we go. That's what these three are about as well. The three plotting, and the three causing heartbreak with their Project Fear, basically. So that's really interesting to me. That either way, people are not going to escape evolving to the point where they start to trust themselves and themselves only. I know what this is about as well. She's about sovereignty. Okay. She's also the Queen of Pentacles, health. There's going to be a lot of focus on helping people regain their health. There's going to be developments in healing modalities that are going to be looked at, are going to be focused on, because it's going to be needed. And as we know, the NHS is just falling apart. I have got a friend who had a scan on her liver because she was in a critical situation in hospital. She had a scan on her liver. The doctor got back to her and told her that she's got a cyst on her liver and nothing he can do. She had to actually bang on the door, and it took 2 weeks. She's not seen anybody in response to that scan information of the cyst being on her liver. She's going to have to wait 2 weeks, and she can only get a telephone appointment. They haven't done a biopsy of the cyst. They haven't gone in. They've just done a scan. And if she'd have allowed them, the doctor wouldn't have given her an appointment because he said there's nothing they can do. So there's clearly a need for the sovereignty of the people to be recognised, for healing modalities, and for the health of the people to be, people's health to be absolutely focused on. So through that, and that's going to be steered by truth and integrity, there are going to also be healing modalities that would appear a bit woo-woo, are more evolved, let's say more evolved, come from not from the sources we've known healing modalities from up to now. So they're going to maybe appear a bit kind of woo-woo, but they're going to emerge, and there's going to be a need. They've been kept secret. There's been many ways in which people can be healed that have been kept secret. So this is also, because this card, like the High Priestess, is about secrets, it can indicate passing over and death, which is what this relates to in this reading. But it can also indicate accessing secrets. And there are certainly many secrets in terms of how to heal people that have been kept from the public and kept from the NHS. Well, the NHS hasn't utilised them. Okay, so everything is going to be turned on its head. everything that people thought was one way, they're going to be looking at it from a different vantage point, but it's going to expand their consciousness. It's going to cause us to grow in knowledge, and it's going to cause us to, what's the word? Go into like a chrysalis type situation where we are consolidating and assimilating this new information to emerge more confidently as a fool who isn't a fool. Okay, the fool is wise, and the fool draws on his own knowledge and wisdom to chart his path through life. But that's amazing. We've got the Hierophant. It's just so self-explanatory, all of it. So yeah, what's going to happen to Matt Hancock? It's not really indicated, has it? I'm going to ask the angel answers. Can you tell us what is going to happen to Matt Hancock as a result of him being exposed now with Project Fear? What is going to happen to Matt Hancock? I'm going to shuffle the cards 3 times. That says compromise. Don't like the sound of that. Compromise. Anyway. Can you give more information on this compromise card? What is going to happen to Matt Hancock? Oh, he's in a compromised position maybe? Well, let's see. Don't want to make it up. Tell me more. Can you clarify this compromise card, please? 3 shuffles, and then I'm going to cut the cards. Oh, romance. I'm not buying that. Can you clarify romance for me, please? Maybe these are not the ones to ask. Compromise, romance. Oh, he had a romance, didn't he? He had an affair. Maybe that's what this is about. We're on 8 minutes. I'm going to switch off. I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm back. He had an affair. He had a romance, didn't he? He was found in a compromising position and situation as a result of the romance that he had. So the cards are telling us more things, not giving me a direct answer to my question. Right, can you clarify more on that, please? Compromise and romance. Can you clarify more? Oh, for God's sake, it says wait. Don't want to wait. I want to find out what's going to happen. Wait. Can you tell me the wisdom involved in that answer, please? The wait answer. Says yes. Yeah, it can tell me the wisdom. So please tell me the wisdom. Thank you very much. What is the wisdom in waiting for an answer regarding Matt Hancock? Splitting the cards. No need to worry. Okay. I want a bit more. I'm going to do these Oracle of the Roses. They have one words like the flirt, the healer, the mother, the lover, the ruler. Let's see what these say. Can you give me a card to comment on the situation with Matt Hancock having been exposed for his Project Fear? What can the Rose Oracle tell us about the consequences for Matt Hancock in having been exposed for his Project Fear? I'm going to shuffle 3 more times and then I'm going to pull the cards. the ancestor. The ancestor. I'm not sure what that means in terms of where that fits in. Karmic, the ancestor. Okay, this is karmic situation. I'm going to ask these cards. Can you confirm with this ancestor card, are we talking about a karmic situation here? Is karma playing itself, playing its way out, itself out? The Chariot's a karma card as well, actually. Can you tell me? Can you give me some insight on what's meant by the ancestor for this? Is this a karmic? Is this in relation to various karmic contracts, past life karmic contracts coming to a head? Got the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. But what does that mean? I ask myself. What are the cards telling us on that one? Let me have a look. Settling the score, that's what I get. Settling the score. Knight of Wands is an action card. It's not as fast as this action card, but it's an action card. It's faster than the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. Taking action on settling the score so that this the Moon, there's a lot of moon symbology with the High Priestess as well, so that we can have done with this issue. We can walk away. We can leave this in the past. We don't need to keep having lessons like this as a collective. So this is about evening the score, basically karma. Balancing out karma. So 6 is divided by between 3, isn't it? 3 and 3. So evening the score, negating the karma, taking action on evening the score and negating the karma, the collective karma for us all, and walking away from that, leaving that in the past, leaving that behind, moving on. That's what that means. Okay, so this is a group collective karmic lesson for us all. That's what I think. Wonder what the Sacred Oracle, just a little word from the Sacred Oracle. Sacred Rebels Oracle cards here. Let's see if we've got a... and I'll do the soul journey as well. Okay, Sacred Rebels. What can you tell us? What would you like to comment on this situation, this issue? As regards Matt Hancock and the exposure now that has been regarding his intention for Project Fear. Can you give me a card to just sum up where we're at? We know it was a karmic contract. We know that being exposed now, we're at a point where the score is evened and we move away from having to deal with this kind of stuff. We are going to leave a lot of things in the past and move forward with a healthier future. What's going to come up? Ha! Inner trust. It has absolutely been a soul lesson on us establishing inner trust and not referring to these bastards in government to give us a sense of trust, trusting ourselves, Trusting ourselves, inner trust, that is what it's all about. If we trust ourselves, we're not afeared of what we're told is outside, and we're not prey to being lied to and for Project Fear to take a hold. If we had inner trust, we wouldn't have been rocked by Project Fear. Project Fear would have appeared to be as ludicrous as it was. And this geezer has inner trust in his bag of tools, his toolkit of resources from his life's journey, and taking heed from that, he has trust. I'm going to switch this off and put it on again. So, inner trust. That's what the lesson is. Our karmic lesson, inner trust. Trusting ourselves, trusting our health, trusting our ability to heal ourselves, trusting our intuition, our wisdom, trusting our intuition, our wisdom. We're all old souls. We have got to be, even the younger souls are older than day one. None of us, as a soul, as incarnated for the first time now in 2023, first ever time on earth. We are all enough as a collective old souls. So inner trust, be the fool in our life, trust ourselves, trust our soul's journey, trust our soul's wisdom. Don't let some fucker in government do a Project Fear on us. That's what that's about. Soul journey lesson cards. I'm interested to see what comes up with that. Confirms, reconfirms, or what it adds to the inquiry. So what can these what soul journey lesson cards would like to come out here? Soul journey lesson card. What would you like to tell us to add to inner trust? What's your comment? What's your final say? I'm going to shuffle 3 more times, and then I'm going to cut the cards. If you need to flip out, do so. Inner trust. Inner trust, that's what it's about. Regret. A lot of regret gone on. Regret. This is about the lesson of regret. Regretting not having inner trust. How interesting. I know that I cannot change the past. But we can move forward. I want another card to take us forward. Might not be able to change the past, but we can transmute the past. We can transmute the past in the manner we go forward. Let's see what that has to say. Which card can take us forward? Which card can help us move forward now? Which soul lesson do we need to tune into to help us move forward from this? Because we are going to move forward, and we are going to not be blighted by this for the rest of our lives. Three more shuffles. Flip out if you need to. Not flipped out. Okay. Health. I will honour the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Okay. Which is but she's about, in regard to the Pentacles, being about health as well as resources in the earth. Health. I will honour the physical vessel that enshrines my soul and never, ever, ever doubt the strength of your soul. I think we'll leave it there. Especially given that this has been about health and what Matt Hancock did to the health of the nation and his cronies. Not just Matt Hancock. He was part of it. It didn't begin and end with him, obviously. Okay, I'm going to go now. But yeah. Inner trust. Health. I will honour the physical vessel that enshrines my soul and never, ever, ever doubt the strength and power of your soul to step out, trusting yourself in the direction that your tool bag and your soul's journey, incarnation after incarnation, has given you the wisdom to use to chart your path forward. That's what that's about. Wow. All right. I know it was a bit heavy, this one, and I'm sorry that, you know, it's about, it made me cry when I read that article in the Daily Telegraph, but it needs to be looked at, and it needs to be explored, and it needs to be acknowledged, because, you know, how many people are going to have to live with the reality of what Project Fear did. So yes, anyway, moving forward, we take the lessons, and this is where ancestors came in. It's this card, this Oracle deck's way of saying karma, karmic lessons, inner trust, and remember, our physical vessel that surrounds our soul is sacred, and the health of it is everything. And health in a way that comes from the wisdom gained by that. Right, I'm going to go now. Well done. Thanks for sticking with it. If you've watched all of these, I know it's a bit more heavy. Bye. See you soon. Bye.